Yo, it's your boy JayDub back at it again. Y'all know what time it is. Today was the day that Microsoft announced its final completion in purchasing Bethesda or ZeniMax, shall I say. But today was the big day. It was the big news. And supposedly the fanboys, the Xbox fanboys, said today was going to be the day of reckoning. Today was going to be the day that they got their exclusives back. Well, there was a huge caveat with that. Things did not go exactly as planned, as PlayStation will continue to get Bethesda games. So here's the thing. You have games from Bethesda that are PlayStation exclusive, such as Deathloop, Doom 3 VR for the PlayStation VR, and we have the upcoming Ghostwire Tokyo. What does PlayStation have coming? We don't know. We do not know. Again, shout out for Microsoft for spending some money buying some stuff. As I've been saying quite some time now, you had a large chunk of the Xbox community and the fan base screaming anti-consumerism. Exclusives are anti-consumerism at its finest. So when PlayStation got games like Spider-Man that was exclusive to its platform, the Xbox fan base ran out there and made sure that they scream anti-consumerism. Foul. I'm crying foul. Man. Well, today was supposed to be the day that they got their exclusives back. Games such as the upcoming Starfield and the upcoming Elder Scrolls or whatever. I mean, all these particular Bethesda games I was told was going to be exclusives. All of these games were supposed to be yanked off of the PlayStation platform, and that did not come to fruition. But we're going to talk about it a little bit. I think the biggest takeaway from this is that Microsoft is going to continue to make money. That's their number one goal, and that's what they will do. There is no changing that. You look at PlayStation, you see 140, 150 million plus fan base. And you look at Xbox and you see a measly 40 to 50 million install base. So you have 3 times as many people buying games on the PlayStation platform than you do on the Xbox platform. And yet somehow Phil Spencer, Satya Nadella, Matt Booty, and the rest of those guys are supposed to say, you know what? We don't want access to 120 million gamers. We just want our 18 million access to our 18 million Game Pass gamers. Come on, man. That's not how things work. I think a lot of these guys were living in La La Land and a fairy tale if they thought that the world's richest company was going to cater to them and them alone. Now, to be fair, Microsoft did say in the future they will have some games that's going to come to PC and Xbox and may not come to PlayStation, but that has yet to be seen. That's in the future. Those games are undefined and undetermined. So I think, where it fits Game Pass, there will be some smaller titles and stuff like that that will go to Xbox and PC specifically. But for all the big stuff, I mean, these guys invest a lot of money in Bethesda, a lot of money in these games. They want that money in return. So I'm looking at Skyrim, the next Skyrim or Elder Scrolls game, or the next or Starfield, whatever that turns out to be. All that stuff is going to PlayStation, and it's going to PC, and it's going to Xbox. And more than likely, guess what? It will end up on Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch Pro. We just have to understand that it is what it is. We have to get out of this mindset that these corporations care about us and our platforms only. We're seeing that on the PlayStation side. Jim Ryan is saying, look, guys, these games are they took a lot of money to build. And guess what? We've given you games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God of War, and the rest of these games. We've given you these games and we made the money off of your platform. Well, guess what? We want to take these old games, stick them on PC, and make some more millions. And guess what? That's going to fund your sequel. And guess what? I have no problem with that. I have no qualms with that. I don't mind old games that have already been beaten, already been done. I have no problem with them going to PC, becoming multiplats or whatever. Because guess what? Horizon Forbidden West will be on PlayStation 5 day one. It will not be available on PC. It will not be available on Xbox nor the Switch, as we know now. Now that's saying quite a bit. That's saying quite a lot, right? Things could always change, and I will never ever go again and say what corporations won't do. But one thing they will do, they will continue to make money. That kind of leads me into another topic. Do you really trust Phil Spencer? Do you? Well, let me tell you, a lot of the things that Phil Spencer has said in the past have really been contradictory. Meaning, gamers don't care about resolution. Gamers don't care about frames. Exclusives don't matter. They don't, single player story driven games just don't cut it like they used to. Well, guess what? He's backtracked all of that at some point in time, guys. Stop taking these executives word for word and biting on what they meant to say, what you want them to say, and what they should have said for your purpose. That leads to a lot of L's. Trust me, that leads to a lot of L's. We need to stop that. We need to get out of that. It is what it is. These companies are out to make money, and guess what? They're going to make money. There's nothing you can do to stop them from making money. That's their job. And guess what? If they can put their games and make money on every single platform, it's going to be on Stadia, it's going to be on the Luna, it's going to be on PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, Atari, anything that they can possibly put it on to maximize their profits. And let's face it, we've seen the stats, we've seen the numbers. Shout out to King Thrash Gaming. He went in to a little detail and dug in and saw some of your favorite YouTubers at both Xbox and PlayStation to see who's actually beating their exclusives. You know, since a lot of us like to say, hey, exclusives matter or exclusives don't matter. Well, if you really want those exclusives, guess what? You have to buy the games and you also have to beat them. Now, one thing I can say for the PlayStation side is they really don't have a Game Pass type system where they can just get any and everything for a few bucks, right? So a lot of those games aren't free or really, really, really cheap inside of a service. So for the most part, you know, Sony have a lot of 20 million plus sellers in their catalog. And that's a lot of games to be sold from one fan base without being on other platforms. So that really says a lot. But shout out to Thrash. He digged a little deeper and he found out a lot of these guys are not playing these exclusives that they tout. They really are not. They're not playing them. They're not beating them. They're not touching them, even when they're free inside of Game Pass. Shout out to PlayStation Nation. 99.9% based on his video, the guys, they do play their exclusives. They tout them. They love them. And that's why they're giving Jim Ryan such a big headache on putting a lot of these old games into onto PC. These guys, they love that exclusivity, whether you like it or not. I mean, they love their exclusives, and you know, who am I to deny that? Exclusives do give your console identity. If all of these consoles had all games on every single platform, then there would really be no sense to buying multiple platforms or even buying one console over the other. Being honest, I would just buy me a PlayStation and call it a day, or I would just stick to PC and call it a day. One thing Nintendo gives you, it gives you that portability, right? So there's another avenue there. There's another one up. But again, Nintendo thrives on its exclusives. So Nintendo, they definitely wouldn't survive in that type of environment. So yeah, there you have it. I think the data speaks for itself. The data speaks for itself. You can't argue with data. Now, next, what are we going to take from this information? Are the guys going to stop arguing and saying, hey, I want my exclusives? Or we're going to continue to say, well, this game is coming exclusive, but that game is not. It's a never-ending rat race. It is. And let's face it, this scenario has exposed a ton of Xbox fanboys, because these are the anti-toxic guys. These are the toxic crusaders. These are the anti-consumer rallyists. These are the guys that created the terms anti-consumer. So if you really thought that that was anti-consumer of PlayStation providing exclusives for its fan base and its platform, then why are you so gun-ho on Xbox having exclusives all of a sudden? Why does this Bethesda deal have to be we want our games, we want Starfield to be exclusives? Why? Isn't that anti-consumer? Isn't that what you rallied against? Again, that's a hole in your argument right there. You can't on one hand say exclusives don't matter when you don't have them, when you don't have any games, but when you finally start to get some games, then you say, well, you know what? It's not really anti-consumerism. I want my exclusives now. No, it don't work that way. You're exposed. You're a fraud. It is what it is. We've always touted exclusives matter, and it gives the consoles the identity. Check out the PlayStation sales of consoles, of games, and everything else, services. Check out Nintendo sales of consoles, of software, and everything else. It matters, guys. It matters, and it has always mattered. A lot of these guys, they are liars. They have been lying to you. They have been perpetrating the fact that they didn't want one fan base to have a one up on them. Now, here's the thing about Bethesda. I hate to say it, but it's going to be a while before they get some exclusives, guys. This is not a overnight fix. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have a bunch of brand new exclusives. That's not how this works. Microsoft has infused those studios with a bunch of money recently, and guess what? It takes years for that stuff to come to fruition. It takes years for them to spend that money. A lot of them are probably buying new buildings, relocating, getting new state-of-the-art hardware and software and stuff like that. So it costs money and it takes time. You probably won't be having any exclusives for, at early 3 to 4 years. Now that's from Bethesda. I'm not saying that the next Doom is not around the corner. Shout out to Bethesda for that Doom 3 PlayStation VR exclusive. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. Shout out to what's his name, Herman Hulse and Jim Ryan for providing that to their fan base. These are the deals that PlayStation guys want. This is what Xbox want. Xbox want deals like that. They want games that's going to come specifically to their platform. They do. And if you say no, then you're just flat out lying. You would love to have those deals. Shout out to my man Kid Smooth. He was keeping it real today. He said right now Bethesda is 0-2, meaning you gave Sony 2 games, Ghostwire Tokyo and the upcoming Deathloop. You gave those guys those game exclusive. Even if it comes in a year to Xbox, it's still an exclusive for a year. That is still something that Xbox guys would have to hope and pray that it comes to that platform. So yeah, it's a Microsoft owned company now, but they're providing exclusives to PlayStation. And PlayStation fans like myself will benefit, at least for a year. So I really enjoy the perks of being a PlayStation gamer, because I do get those games first. I do get that extra content. I do get that extra DLC. I got Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got Final Fantasy VII Remake I got Final Fantasy 16 coming up exclusive. I got Project Athia exclusives. I got Doom 3 VR. I got Skyrim in VR exclusive. I mean, all of these exclusive terms, it matters. It's the best place to play. And now that the PlayStation has the better version of the multiplats, that's a bigger kick in the dong. Again, do you guys think Phil Spencer's the guy? Did this work? Did this whole Bethesda deal work out the way you want it to work? Are you happy with it? Or are you upset? Do you think Phil needs to go? Is this the right deal for them? Let me know. That's my comment section right there. You guys let me know what you feel, man. It's your boy JayDub, back at it again. You can find me on Twitter at JayDubCity16, keeping you guys laughing with the gifs and the memes. You know what I mean. Let's get it. PlayStation Nation, holla at your boy.